Hey you guys, welcome back to ARTIMORE. I'm Baltimore Brand and I am here with you again today. When I tell you guys, it took a lot to configure this interview, and it's everything well worth it. I'm about to read a paragraph that I wrote for this man because this man is worthy of every single word in this paragraph. So give me a second so I can really introduce him. We're about to spotlight the pulse of Baltimore right now through his most fearless creative ever. Today we're diving into the world of film, storytelling with this award-winning visionary who's turning headlines into narratives and imagination into action. Alvin Gray is Baltimore-based director known for his compelling films inspired by cultural events, stories that he's influenced from Jonathan Majors, Meg Thee Stallion, and even Sean Diddy Combs. With the original works like Check Please, most of his films can be found online through Amazon, through Prime, through YouTube, and on Tubi. You can watch some of this shit for free. So if you don't get to know this man after this interview, that is literally on you. But we're here today with Alvin Gray. So you gotta clap it up like we on Drink Champs. And I'm so excited. I swear I'm so excited. Then you had a Drink Champs interview in one of your movies. Right. But when I tell you guys, people make the joke about friend in your head. This man has literally been a friend in my head for 4 years now. And it's so crazy because it really was through his art that I was intrigued with him. I literally went back and watched stuff that he did before I knew he existed type shit. And I'm very happy to get this interview in. Let's just get into your origin story and then we'll get back to your movies. But how did you start and what made you want to be a film director and tell stories and write them? And because even if they are stories based on true events, you still have to map it together how you want to present the story. So what got you into that as a kid?
I wanted to get into the arts when I was a kid to create the narrative of my own reality.
Right.
I grew up in Baltimore City. My parents wasn't always home and everything, and I found myself going from house to house having identity crisis because I was trying to adapt to different families and relatives I had to stay with.
Right.
So when I got in school, art became one of my favorite classes because I didn't have to learn the realities of math or the proper way of writing cursive or English and things like that. In art, I could just freely create and be whatever it was that I wanted to be. So I started just taking a liking to creating characters, making fake worlds or, taking my friends and having them act out plays for me and things like that. So as I got a chance to get onto, I want to say the movie Step Up with a Y. I can't figure out which one was first, but
Step Up was so dope, and to even think that you were a part of it is just really crazy because that's one of my favorite movies. And I just to piggyback off what you were saying about Step Up, not to cut you off, but Step Up is one of the first movies in Baltimore, even though it was a little, Saturday morning specialist, but we still got to see East Fayette Street with Heavy D is one of my favorite scenes because I'm from that area. We actually got to see, they were taping, some of the movie was taped in city, but other parts of the movie was taped in Booker T. Washington. And I actually see McCullough Street and watching them walk through streets that we know. That was one of the movies in Baltimore that we knew was in Baltimore. And the other one that I can say is Love with Carmen in it. Those movies was really real Baltimore, even though the storyline, but it was still real Baltimore where we even if we made a joke about how they were speaking or being proper, it was still, we know that, and we know the house party, and we knowing we got a friend that go to the good school and we don't go to the good school. Those things we were really, Baltimore is really two different Baltimores, and we're not even talking about black and white. We're talking about within black community, it's two different Baltimores.
Yeah.
So how did you and you were bringing that up? How did you get away from navigating that? Because even making those worlds, you stated, and it's so hurtful that you said that. You said identity crisis. So you felt like you were broken and nothing was broken about you.
Well, just because, again, like you said, it's two different Baltimores, right? My family is a ideal proof of that, blood. We got I stayed on Mojo with my family over west, and then over east I was in Sedonia, so it just depends on where I was. The dialect changed, the infrastructure of the house changed, the cars changed, so I didn't know where I fit in, because when I'm over here I had to talk like this, if I'm over there I had to talk like that, or what was acceptable here was acceptable there. It was just a big clusterfuck. So when I was able to create my own world, I just took a little bit of what I know from over here, a little bit from what I know over there, and made Alvin's world and started to create characters. And when I was introduced to the acting world, just doing background extra work, I was like, oh shit, I can really do something with this. Where I don't have to worry about being no one else besides the character I make up. That's cool. Let me keep on doing this. And, I took a college course in film. And, they give you a check at the end for whatever you're going to use for books. I took that check and bought a camera and just started making movies with my friends. And from there, it just grew into something that I never thought. But really, I just wanted to act. I didn't even want to direct. I just wanted to act, but I didn't have that look that
which we were talking about earlier on sidebar.
I don't have that look that people wanted the black man to be, So I decided to create my own characters and start hiring myself.
So and then sometimes that people say that to you, but they be real frank with you beforehand. I like how you're being so vulnerable about discrediting yourself. Listen to me, beforehand you created out this world. They didn't do that. So you were always doing that. So you didn't have to do what anybody else said. You were always doing it already. And that's why this became so easy for you. So how do you feel about that? Like being a little boy growing and being told that your Alvin's world is weird and people getting on your nerves too. Your Alvin world is not weird and you get mentioned on the Breakfast Club every 3 weeks. And the Breakfast Club is like, we remember when they created the Breakfast Club, but Hot 97 was Hot 97 forever. So now it's like you're getting mentioned on Hot 97 every damn morning from some girl from Baltimore that rose up in the ranks. Like that right there, and then you put an emphasis on her. So now she makes sure that she puts an emphasis on you.
And I appreciate it. With Baltimore, they embrace me with open arms wherever I go. More so because I don't try to fit in. So I'm still that familiarism, if that's even a word, to them. Because they know that, oh, that's Alvin, that's like my little cousin, that's my uncle, whatever. I feel like that's the reason why people here accept me, because I don't try to be nothing more than what I am. And also, I just come off a little unintimidating per se, because really at the end of the day, I don't want no bullshit. You just want to do what he do and be done with it, and he good people. So I feel like as long as I stay genuine to who I am, I feel like the people of Baltimore at least is going to respect it and let me and embrace me with that, So I don't really go anywhere in Baltimore, where I'm like a little concerned or whatever like that, because we take care of our family, And here I feel like Baltimore is a big family, even though we got our own beefs inside each other. I feel like they recognize the real of
and that's the thing. A lot of times about being a creative. So being a creative, you're the kid, and it's so weird about how being a creative is fucked up. Either you're a creative and you got mixed up in the wrong crowd to try to fit in, and now you're so far gone of being creative. You got the story. I've heard a story before about somebody recently saying they went to Micah and lost their scholarship and shit, and they still deal with their friends that finished, but they didn't finish, and they weren't cultivated to push to finish. And it's so sad because sometimes children need to be pushed, and you're not gonna, like you always say, well, you didn't, people go with their parents, you didn't help me. It's a real thing because as my parent, you're supposed to push me.
So I have an older son. My oldest son is 17, and somehow the camera fell in his lap. So he's doing these blogs and these things now and everything like that. And unfortunately, we live in separate homes. He lived with his mom and his wife. He was there. They're not creators like me. So they just want to trash it and tell them what I do to enforce it is just try to mold it and say, listen, man, people aren't going to get it, And I just guide him differently than I had to guide him. Number one, by just believing, He's at an age now where it's like, man, do whatever you want to do. Go run and be the president. Will you make it? Maybe not. Maybe you will. But I'm not going to say don't do it because you can't. So I just instill belief, because I'm a heavy believer myself. And I'm doing the impossible. My family didn't believe I can do this until they saw it on the screen. They're like, oh shit, he really is doing it. I don't want it to be where I don't believe in my children until I actually see them doing it. I want to instill in them that you can do whatever you want to do.
Correct. Because even if you don't agree with it, the voice of not.
Yeah.
Same concept. I cried because my mother liked my interview. My first, this is the first, and I've been doing podcasting and interviews for years. This is the first time my mother liked what I was doing.
That's good, bro.
And I cried. I didn't care about the rest of you niggas. Like,
Did you get it?
I didn't care about the rest of you niggas. When I seen that my mother, like my father was always that you can do whatever you want to do parent. But the little girl in me really like, and I'm sorry because I'm about to cry a little bit, but I loved when my mother liked it. And she was like, I don't like this that you did, but she clearly watched it to tell me, to correct me. And that really was like,
she saw you.
Yeah.
I see you. And that's important.
It really is. And that's why I even had that question for you, because I'm such a fan that I know that you are the quirky, kid that didn't fit in most of the places you went to, and you were okay with not fitting in. I was not. I code switched like a motherfucker. Like, I really code switched and everybody think code switching is for white.
Yeah.
You have to code switch as a black kid in so many places.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that I'm that parent, like I was getting to, and I'm going to bring this up because we were talking about music. Tyler, the Creator concert was a different world at the arena.
I heard. I'm so glad I missed it.
And it's so crazy because Tyler doesn't come here often. The last time he came to Baltimore was like 10 years ago. They had a mosh pit, My daughter and my son got to watch and it's a rock concert for real.
Right.
I watch concerts down there all the time. We have full flood stages and chairs down there. And the concerts are great. But we watched a story, and we watched a black kid who is gay out loud as fuck and still unapologetically himself.
Yeah.
And everybody in that building was dressed like this man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking about my kids were too.
Right.
All the kids were dressed, and my kids was like, well, mommy, we went. And I went through their closet and I put something together for them. But when I get down there and all the other kids, and it's like, I wasn't, and I went into the black mode like, what the fuck?
Right.
Shit is going on? And it's like, but it was amazing. And that's what I'm saying. The what the fuck is never, I don't like it. This is crazy. And it's undeniably, I can't understand or even fathom how to explain it.
Yeah.
But 10 kids was dressed like Tyler in t-shirts, or when he wore blue, or when he's in green for Chronocopia, or when he's in, just a sweater vest attire. And he said at his concert that got all of the older people that brought their kids about the clips, because he said without the clips I wouldn't be me. So you young motherfuckers go listen to this album and make them #1 this week.
Wow.
So he still paid, like, he didn't have to say that.
Yeah, I saw
like he didn't have to say that.
I still haven't listened to the album.
Yeah, but he didn't have to say that too. And my kids went and listened, like, mommy, but Pusha and Malice are 50.
They put the album out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the point. Like, they're 50 though. And he said, go stream that.
Yeah.
And then all of it is like him saying it.
Yeah.
And he posted that because he said it because it happened that day. He just happened to be in Baltimore that day. Right. And that's even more crazy because he was in the DMV area. Yeah. So for him to say that, that's right there, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, are you inspiring? And I know that you're inspired because I knew that story a little bit about your son. Yeah. You're inspiring your kids because that's who you need to touch. People sometimes, as black people, we want to touch the whole world. But if our kids are following in our true footsteps, to touch them is the world, because that's your legacy naturally. And that's what I was getting at. Like, my kids go to Baltimore Design, and I make sure that my kids are not just going to Baltimore Design because they draw, but because their lineage is creative, and we were told not to be for a really long time. Yeah. And that's the problem.
I agree.
That is the problem. I didn't get creativeness by myself, and neither did you. But somebody in your family is afraid to say that they were, because they buried it so long ago, and they're okay with, I'm okay with working to get my money. I'm okay with just
think it's my dad, actually.
Yeah, and it was my mom.
Yeah,
it's my mom. My mom is so creative, and she owns Unique Fabrics in honor of my grandmother who sews. And my grandmother has dementia right now, and she works with the kids in the community to push them. So I'm resentful of that a little bit, because like, you pushing the kids in the community to be creative, like your kids weren't always
right.
But whatever. But I'm glad that you're seeing that was wrong of you in that aspect, like I said, because community is still community. Yeah. So if you're touching one other creative kid to learn how to sew in a place where it's not taught to them easily, and I had a you, and that's another thing. You had your parents. So even if they didn't push you, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They still gave you the space to do it some kind of way where it was a little bit more freeing for you than another child that's like you that didn't have it. So that's why I really I was in tears about my mom, because she really does want to like what I do, and she just doesn't know how to do it. Just in saying, she's been watching. It's the reason why I named Brandis Braids, because I was like, what to name my stuff? And she was like, you're thinking too much. Right. Brandis Braids. So Brandis Braids is Brandis Braids because of her. Like my mom really much so is like supportive, but she doesn't know how to be unwavering with it.
Okay.
I tell my parents all the time, because they're Christian. I'm not Christian, but I believe, I'm omnis. I believe everybody's religion was man-made, but it holds the truth. Like if you put everybody together, it'll put the pieces to the puzzle. So I tell my parents all the time, when you lack faith, how can you teach me to be Christian? You mad that you feel like I'm not, but how can you teach me to be Christian if you're lacking faith? Faith without works is dead. That's one thing that I always believe in. That's word to this. I did a podcast 3 or 4 times before I'm getting it right. What did you want to do for the future? Because you were talking about with your kids, but in the community for the future, what do you want to be known as? Because you say in 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you'll be 50. What do you want for the future for yourself?
I just want, and I try to stay away from race stuff because I don't want to, but my race is important. I'm black, I speak black. At the end of the day, I just want to leave behind some sort of black excellence, because that's important to history. You know, growing up in my class history, for us, we only had that one month of black history, and everything else was taught through everyone else. So with me, whether it's through film or through medical or through just great blackness of families, I just want to be able to leave behind something that was of quality and of service, and something that was for us. You know, that's what's most important to me. And that's not a knock toward, and I want to make it clear, it's not a knock towards my white colleagues, you know, or to anyone of a different race. But my job as a black man here in America is to build my culture, you know, and show us that that's the stigmas of what we are through media is not who we are. That's their version of us. You know, it's a shame that whenever HBO comes to Baltimore, it's you know, like
the drug dealer kids are the only kids here.
Yeah, it's a shame.
They're friends with us, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got, and I can say that The Wire did do this just on a small scale with Michael's character, that he was good in school, you know. They did that on a small scale with Tristan, but how they made Wallace,
all of it, you know, like it's
a parody of us.
That's what they think. No matter where I went at in the world, from or the United States to Baltimore, and I'm getting tired of that image being our image. But that's because we allow HBO to create our image, not just with The Wire, but also we run the city, we own the city, whatever.
Yeah, and the thing is, even though it was real, they keep picking up those stories.
That's it.
That's the issue.
What they penetrate our hoods or our neighborhoods, capitalize off of it, and they keep us
the pain part.
So what I want to do is to show others. You look at my movies, I acknowledge everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not just this. This is us as a people, us as a culture. So when in 5-10 years from now, I just want to be able to be acknowledged for the library that I built, and for people to know that we're more than just what HBO paints us out to be.
Yeah.
You know, so
and then that's the issue. Is like we get excited because HBO does hire us, and we get excited because HBO does put money back into Baltimore. They do, but what are we selling for that? And that's the crazy part, because like I just stated, as much as The Wire is real, those little instances of those kids that are in The Wire, that's word to Chris that Tristan is married to now. She's from here. His wife is born and raised here. She was an extra in The Wire. And that's the thing. I never liked that. They used to ask us to be extras all the time. And I want to say my homegirl Rakaya's in one of the episodes of The Wire. They used to ask us to be extras all the time. And it's great for some degree, because then you're around other people or you're around other things. But what are we selling? And it's like, even with HBO didn't do it, Apple did it. They went to The Lady in the Lake. And that's about that's about 2 murders in 1969.
I remember that. I wasn't there, but my father told me about that.
Yeah, so why are you so focused on our pain And it's and you're not wrong. Yeah, they're like, and it's not, and you're not wrong. Those stories need to be told.
Yeah.
But why are you focused on?
That's all they want to do.
It's like, and it's in the same concept of when they're in Cali or any black neighborhood. Yeah. Boys in the Hood got accolades.
But California gets other stuff. Yeah. Everyone gets other stuff. Here but you got the
California gets other stuff when it comes to white stories. When it comes to black stories, it's many the same. Like bring it on. I'm saying bring it on. Listen to me. Bring it on. Even Friday. Cube made it funny, but it's still Boys in the Hood with Kool-Aid. That's all it is. It's not like, and that's the problem. It's like we as black people do need to tell our pain stories, but we need to tell our creative ones, and we need to tell, you spin the parodies to the point that, like I said, you bring them here. We're gonna make this a part 2, you guys, because this was like the greatest. I had a Nori moment. I let people know I had a Nori moment.